Hey there and welcome. I'm Jason Linett. And a little while ago, over in this community, I put up a post inviting people to share their hypnosis practice websites and get direct feedback. If you want to get yours reviewed, I'm going to drop a comment down below. That's going to bring you over to that announcement post. Share your website over there. What I've done here is I've got 4 people who have responded to me so far. I can't do them all at the same time, though I'm about to rapidly go through these 4 websites and give public feedback to them. Now, behind the scenes, I'm going to talk you through a little bit of kind of what I'm looking for here. First of all, in the 21st century, you are the niche. Influence is the new currency. If you turn on a television right now, if you watch anything involving the news, people are kind of upset with corporations and companies. So if you're trying to position yourself as this like faceless conglomerate, stop it, because that is one of the easiest ways to have your clients deselect you. And that's going to be one of the big themes here. Over the years, from launching my hypnosis career, it was a hobby from like 2001 up until 2005. The first time I officially got paid for hypnosis was in 2005. I then launched a full time income as a stage hypnotist from 2007 up until about 2017 when I retired myself from that, and then started seeing clients for pay as early as 2008. And then for a dozen years, I ran a practice. I'm giving you a bit of the resume here because I've seen what works. I've also noticed what doesn't work. And I'm also putting this through the filter. I'm going to step to the side here and kind of point at these things on the wall. Each one of these 4 awards relates to $1 million of income that can be tracked through an online sales funnel sequence. The very first one, I can never point the right way. The very first one was not from teaching hypnosis, was not from selling programs to hypnotists. The very first one of those awards was directly from the client systems that I personally use to actually book my own private hypnotherapy clients. And that was extremely important to me because there's a bit of an issue right now where there's people who, on the surface, appear as the business expert. However, when you look closer, you realize that, well, the reason why they can sell you on the idea of that you can have a high ticket business is that they didn't have one until they could sell you on that idea too, which is the indirect way of pointing out they haven't actually done the thing that you want to do yourself. So that's why I'm doing this. So we're about to dive into these 4 websites. I'm going to do my best to kind of reiterate some of the same points along the way. People do business with people. Now, that being said, the stuff you see on the website is the foot in the door. And for anyone out there who's telling you that websites don't work, well, one, they're running ads to that message saying websites don't work to then try to get you to click on their website. You catch that there? Yeah, they actually run websites. But also anyone who's saying it doesn't work doesn't know how to make it work. So the front-facing part is the foot in the door. What happens after that is truly the transactional magic. That's how you then make it rain. Come on, technology. Let's see if this works today. Oh, first of all, check out this link down here over to activatejason.com. We just wrapped up one of these events, and I'll do my little fancy picture in picture. When you head over to that page, it'll bring you magically over here where we're running an event once again called a Persuasive Systems Launch. Give me 12 weeks. I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step journey to install my proven systems directly into your business. Check out the details of that over at activatejason.com. And with that, let's hop in first. I've got 4 of them loaded up here, and there we go. I'm going to do my best to kind of zoom in where I can just to make it slightly bigger on my screen without interfering it too much. And it shows my personal calendar up at the top. Yay, screen share. Cool. So this is Dorothy's site and Genesis Consultants LLC Incorporated. Okay, so here's one of the things I look at first of all. One of the first things I look at is that we want to, going full screen for impact here, there's 3 levels of sales communication. This right here, everybody lean in because this is one of the elements that's most often missing. And this is why, despite your best efforts, you are invisible to the people that you know you can help. 3 levels of sales communication. I'm going to use the F word here, not that one, but An F word that sounds slightly more technical, it's not. Funnel. Three levels of sales communication. Top of funnel communication is speaking in terms of the audience's problems, hopes, goals, dreams, and or desires. So basically, top of funnel communication, you are speaking in their language. Middle of funnel communication, this is the biggest fault of the hypnosis industry, and myself included, up until I saw the light and shifted my messaging. Most of you are beginning with middle of funnel communication. This is where you're speaking in terms of the methods and the modalities that you use. So there's a challenge with this. It's only really going to reach people who are already looking for what you do. Now, I'll point this out. There is a larger collection of people who are looking for our services than what a lot of our industry has been led to believe. Hypnosis is widespread in a very good way. There are people who are looking for your services. So, I can track between 1.5 and 1.8 million dollars of private client income collected over the years, not all at once, collected over time, that's directly proportionate to me using the word hypnosis in my messaging. Don't hide it from people. So, top of funnel, problems, hopes, goals, dreams, desires. Middle of funnel, methods and modalities. It's the difference between, are you struggling with anxiety? Top of funnel. Here's a great EFT technique. Middle of funnel. Then bottom of funnel is final transactional narratives, such as, do I sign up for this program or that program? Or perhaps, do I do the single pay or the installments? This is, if this is you, don't comment down below, or go for it. The person who sent me a message going, I'll pay you $300 for every person who signs up for my program that you refer to me. And I had to respond to you going, I don't know what you do. I don't know who you are. You're asking me for a bottom of funnel response when I'm not even middle or top with you. So I point this out because middle of funnel messaging can work. However, the key to new audience acquisition, the key to audience growth is a top of funnel narrative. I mentioned that here because let's look at one of the easiest places to shift this, which would be the navigation bar. Home, certified transformation hypnosis services. Oh, cool. It pops down. About, testimonials, bookstore, blog, contact. I would say overall, Dorothy, I would minimize the number of options at the top. It's also kind of hard to see. Um, Depending on your builder, the ones that I tend to recommend to use, you have the ability to let this become sticky at the top. I know mine is built this way. If you look up here, this navigation bar stays at the top as you scroll. But if we go back over to yours here real quick, I do appreciate the services dropdown. And here's the thing, a lot of you have become stuck over the years in terms of the message around picking a niche. Here's the one thing you need to know. A niche is not a death sentence. I get a lot of people who are afraid of, what if I pick the wrong one? That's okay. At one point, I was the person who was working with kids and teenagers. Some of you have heard me say this before. Now that I have my own kids and teenagers, I don't want to see yours, respectfully. We're allowed to say that. We can run a, you're going to love this phrase, we can run a practitioner-centered business that offers client-centered solutions. I don't work with everything. You don't have to work with everything either. The key is, though, back to this page, we want to tell the story that if I can click on to, let's say, anger issues. Yeah. We want it to tell the story if I am on one of these sub pages around a specific niche issue. We want it to tell the story that Dorothy is the expert. So overall, my immediate feedback is I want to meet you on camera. Your clients are people who have likely never done this service before, are likely playing a bit of a comparison journey, and people do business with people. In the 21st century, a website is a portal to show videos and build rapport through the screen and bring people into their narrative so you can introduce your narrative so that then they can become your paying clients. That's a sequencing I call pre-sold clients. By the way, anytime you have a wall of text, as we see here, the unfortunate thing is, Dorothy, I think you're awesome. I would read it, but it's a lot of stuff and most people will see that and unfortunately not read it. I'm going to zoom in for a little trick here. which would be, it may be small on your screens depending on how you're watching this. I'm simulcasting right now to a Facebook group. I'm going to then upload it over to YouTube because they're going to hear me say this. Facebook kind of sucks right now with videos and groups and live videos because they automatically delete these things after 30 days, which is stupid. So I'm going to put it somewhere else, and that's why other video platforms are winning. So whenever you have a big wall of text like this, it's an opportunity to shift focus. I'm just going to take a guess here, which would be that I'm looking for something outcome based. Right now, a lot of this, Dorothy, is very problem-centered. Bring us up. You can do a classic problem, agitate, solution. Here's the problem, here's why that's a problem, and that's why here's what needs to happen. I want to see something that is more in the desired outcome of the audience. I'll just pick a specific area. Put something in bold. What that does is it draws the eyes toward that area that's now in bold, which then wins the curiosity of the person on the other side, to which then they go, what's this about? Then they go back to the beginning of the paragraph, then they actually read it. So again, though, video, video, video. I want you on camera. I want to get a chance to actually meet you here. I'm just going to bounce around to a few pages here for the sake of time. I love the headline, which is a weird thing to say out loud. Are you struggling with anxiety, depression, or stress? And Jason Linett's over here going, I love that. Okay, well, in the context of what we're doing here, you nailed that. So you are calling out the desired audience. So it's a dog whistle. You are blowing the whistle, and only the specific people who are a fit for that message are the ones who then see that. That's the wrong screen share. That's the right screen share. Do I have two of these? No. There we go. I'm back. Let us help you find the strength to overcome life challenges. Oh, hang on, Dorothy. Dr. Dorothy. Don't be an us. You're a you. Together, you and I can help this. What I would say is I see this on a lot of pages. Schedule a session. Okay, yeah. The quick thing I was about to mention is that we want to leave people with a psychological conclusion point in their journey. So I see some people who say, schedule a call, but then they just have a standard contact form. There's a call that I have scheduled today. That's something that I needed to schedule, and I know it's scheduled for 4:15 p.m. Now, I wanted it sooner. However, because I was able to schedule it, I think last week, Wednesday, and I've known, oh, well, next week, Tuesday, I'm talking to that guy at 4:15. I hit a point of psychological satisfaction. And because of that, I stopped my search. Do you hear that? So because I now have a satisfying conclusion to my journey, at least in terms of that step, because I knew, okay, it's 6 days away, but I know Tuesday at 4:15, I'm going to talk to that person I want to talk to. I now feel a sense of satisfaction. And because of that now, I stop my journey. If you leave someone at a non-satisfying drop-off point, that's where they go, who else can I find? And they likely book with someone else or some other solution here. This is just me. I actually like this graphic: social, emotional, spiritual, physical, mental. The Venn diagram enthusiast in me wants to see something in the middle. That's just me. You could ignore that one here. Our services, yeah, unless you do have a staff of people, and if you do, introduce them on the About page. But this is great. Like this part here, you are calling out the specific things. And then if I click this, small thing, this is going to be a game changer for a few of you. Anything that looks like it could be a button, go ahead and make it a button. So I know I can click Learn More for codependency and go over here, but you might as well make this image. It's not clickable. Go ahead and make the image, that too. About Dr. Dorothy. There we go. Yeah. So like this is good where you are breaking up some of the text with some of it in bold. You want to avoid the wall of text though. And it might be as simple as, I'm trying to think of somewhere that I've got something of this nature. Let me see if there's just one on this page here. But places where I kind of broke up the monotony of the text because I made the headline in a smaller window and I made a block of text in a smaller section. Just whatever you can do to kind of break that up. The biggest thing that I see is right now, Dorothy, you are direct response in your messaging, which is this is the biggest source of what I call leaky bucket business, which is where people land on the site and either they book with you or they leave. You need to have some engagement triggers on here, some sort of an opt-in, something in between the step of the schedule the call thing, so that then there are more places for them to plant seeds along the way. You need to sell towards you're already selling towards the short path, which is book a call this phone number, send me an email. You also need to sell towards the long path, which is find out more by getting this thing, download this free thing by doing that. Which, quick little nuance on this one here. And like what I'm about to say may be a very bottom of funnel conflict, but it's one that I've noticed a lot of. I keep meeting people, and I say this not because, hey, we have a website building event coming up soon. We've had some amazing wins of people who have gone through this program, either a one-to-one or inside of a group format. We have someone who hit their first $20,000 month as a result of going through this. We have someone who just hit $4,500 collected within a week of launching one of their pages. So, hey, this stuff works. There's a difference between being able to say, oh, I already have a website. Is it producing the numbers and the responses that you want? There's also a difference between, here's a narrative I keep hearing. Oh, I have opt-in offers on the site. Okay, well, let's quote Napoleon Hill here. Are those people, one, actually opting in and engaging with these lead magnet components? But then two, here's the Napoleon Hill part, are they actually transmuting, that's his word, into paying customers? So I kept hearing this narrative. There were people at HypnoThoughts who were talking websites. I kept hearing this narrative of, oh, wow, that opt-in looks good. Hopefully this one works. You need to have the right psychological triggers dialed in so that one, they actually request the thing, but two, they also then transmute into sales. So Dorothy, overall, I would say a bit of a design punch up is possibly due. I was looking down here, it appears the site, the number down here is current. Some of your graphics up here are, I'm not on camera. There we go. Some of your graphics down here are up here a little fuzzy. So a skilled designer would be able to punch those up. And anywhere that there's text, don't make it an image unless it absolutely has to be, because that's this way then Google can actually crawl it. But overall, yeah, the navigation bar is going to be your biggest win, as well as putting more of you into your messaging. Thank you, Dorothy. Here we go. I'm now still on Dorothy's site. All right, bouncing over. This one was Christoph. There we go. And cool. So I'm on the site here. Regain control of your life. Christoph, I think you volunteered this the last time I did one of these website reviews, and somehow I remember it was something else before. My standard headline for a page, this works for everything, take back control of your life. It kind of speaks to all the different client issues. So if you had that for yourself already, good on you. If that was from me last time, you're welcome. Whichever one, we're cool. I'm looking up here at the navigation at the top. This is often where I can see the biggest wins. Services, more info, reviews about me, courses, contact me. So these are right now all about you, Christoph. And what I tend to say is, what are, again, niching down. You are the niche. And the key is have individual service pages for the main things you work on. And when you're on that page, you are the expert of that one thing. Here's the aside though. What are the top 2 or 3 big things that, careful language, you want to smack your audience in the face with immediately the moment they land on your site? What are your big 2 or big 3? For those of you that might be relatively early in your journeys, don't make this hard. Smoking, stress, weight, fears. It's going to be 2 or 3 of those. Just start the narrative and what people already assume the moment you say, I had a guy years ago who was like, I want to work with teenage drummers. I'm like, that's cool. Let's pay your bills first. Smoking, stress, fears. That's 3 that he focused on. He was then profitable. We then found the way to get the message in front of the parents of the teenage drummers because that had to be part of the strategy, working with kids and teens. So, Christoph, I would say, I'm assuming you've got them here. Stress and anxiety, eliminate phobias. You're in a different country where you're allowed to say phobia. In the US, yeah, enough said. Stop smoking. Yeah, so I would say a bit of a reorganization up here is due because by doing so, it's going to just call out the people. You want people to land on the site and immediately go, yeah, that's what I was looking for. And also, here's the nuance around the niching conversation. When people see other things, and then there's one that says more services, then they're more likely to then click that as opposed to clicking services cold. There's, how do I know this? There's software you can get that I don't have any of them running right now, but I've paid for this in the past. Heat map. It's a plugin you can put into your website and be able to see where people clicked, when they clicked it, how long they were on the page. And this is a lot of how I got my information. I didn't make this crap up. Sorry. I did not invent this high quality knowledge I'm sharing with you. No, through years of guessing, testing in my stuff and private consulting and sharing it with others and seeing what works. And everything I'm sharing, by the way, is universal. By the way, I've not seen this to be any different from one country to another. Free yourself from anxiety, stress, and bad habits. Yes. And I want to click that right away so I can learn more because that's what I'm here for. Bring me there right away. Sessions available online and face to face. Contact me. Yeah. So here's an example of this, Christoph. Satisfying conclusion point. It's that I'm censoring myself, but I don't want to, but I will. I'll explain the story in a bit. Satisfying conclusion point. Hook this up to a calendar platform. The systems that I tend to recommend for websites, that's just something that's embedded inside of it too. But this way, again, my story of today. No one messaged me at 4:15. You already know I'm an important call. Satisfying conclusion point. Bring them back towards that. Let's go over here. Christoph, I want to meet you. I think I already have before in person. Correct me on that. But I want to see you on camera. I mean, people do business with people. People do business for all the reasons I'm saying this now universally to everybody, not just you. For all the reasons you might be sensitive about yourself, for all the reasons you might be cautious or playing the imposter syndrome game, those are the things that make you stand out to your audience. Those are the reasons they pick you. Lean into it. So set aside that stuff. And again, people do business with people. Let's see. Overcome trauma and anxiety. Eliminate your phobias. Stop smoking now. I love that you have, everybody, check this out. Buttons in the present tense action verb. Just me? Okay. Start regaining control here. Free yourself now. Choose life. Start here. Active verbs, active verbs. Get rid of the gerund form of the verbs, the ing. You know what you're in for here. All right, so here's Christoph, what my clients say. I love this. Latest news. Let me check something out here. If you have a blog, yours is current. Woohoo! Pro tip, anybody out there have a blog that's not active? If you do, hide the thing where it says the date that it was published. Congrats, now you have an active blog. It's a silly little nuance that absolutely works. Let's go back to one of these pages here. And I want to see one of the service pages. Let's go to trauma and anxiety. Here we go. There's that handsome man. Okay, here's the thing though. I know you can say, I have it on the service page. Yes, you do. And put yourself on that homepage because that's where most of your traffic is ending up here. Overcome your anxiety. I'm going to point to one of my videos here real quick. If I refresh the page, you can meme your videos. So take a screenshot, and we teach this in our systems. Take a screenshot of your video. I'll zoom in here. And you can see how I put text on the screen grab of my video. So this is that activatejason.com page. It redirects over to here. You can see that I put on here, why hypnotists struggle with business. Do you see how that's a pattern interrupt? That's a headline, grabs the attention, sells you on the click to actually watch it. If I scroll down to another one on here, I get overwhelmed by technology. I just called it out right away. So You have the nice little benefit of what happens with YouTube when you share the video that it throws this up here. The catch is though, if I click that, I'm now loading to
Can you
YouTube
please just hear
externally,
me out?
and I'm getting a advertisement with a purple llama, which clearly is the right thing. Uh, Voomly Video is my favorite video hosting platform right now. 19 bucks. I'll drop a link down below here in a moment. It's either 19 bucks a month or 190 a year. It is better than all of the other video hosting platforms that I've been using. That's my private password storage. Let me move this out of the way. Get the stuff off of. Have these videos on YouTube, but at the same time, where's my link? There it is. Have these videos on YouTube, though at the same time, put it natively on your own site. This way we don't end up advertising for Monday.com, which is pretty cool software, it turns out. Contact me now. Yeah, wall of text. You're doing a good job with the bolding, but think about, I don't know if this will let me do this. Think about, watch my cursor on the screen. It's kind of muted here, but like if it was cut off to here and like you had a paragraph block that was like 2/3 the width and then 1/3 of it was an image, look at the way a newspaper is laid out. It just prevents that wall of text. I want to see the stop smoking page. Cool. Yeah, biggest thing is, once again, I want to see something to engage the audience. I want to see something that's going to grab their attention and bring them into the narrative. Sell for the short path, which is book a call me now, send me an email. Also sell towards the short path, which is towards the long path, which is some sort of opt-in offer. But again, it needs to be one. Your opt-in offers, lean in for this one here. Your lead magnets, your free value you provide. Most people get this wrong because they produce stuff which is, I call it oatmeal content. And it's oatmeal that doesn't have any sugar or salt or cinnamon. It's just bland, flavorless oatmeal. Here are 4 things you can do to have a great day. Here are 4 things you can do to have more confidence. Weird little nuance. Strangers will trust you faster to take them out of pain than strangers will trust you to move them towards pleasure. Test it out. I've heard this many times over the years. I've put it into my business too. It doesn't mean everything you do needs to be twist the knife, make the scenario bad. It's to say, though, that again, away from pain messaging tends to work better on the front end, I found. Here's the thing, though. And when we do this Activate Jason Persuasive Systems Launch Build Out event, we coach through this too. Your free content needs to solve the problem before the problem. If your free content is aimed towards assisting to solve the problem, it leaves them at a satisfying psychological point, but it's the wrong one for your business because they think to themselves, oh, I know what to do, I'll try that. And then they either don't do it and they don't get the result, or worse, they do it and it doesn't work for them. And then inside of their thoughts, they tell themselves the story, this person gave me a free thing and it didn't work. I guess all of their stuff doesn't work. So the free offer, the opt-in thing on the front end, there's several psychological triggers that need to be activated. The key one is you've got to solve the problem before the problem rather than the problem itself. So Christoph, thanks for sharing that. I've become picky about this lately. Your logo in the top corner is a bit fuzzy. What I would say is split this up, have the logo, but then just have this as a text thing up here. Or we do a whole design punch up thing in our workshop. Get just this improved upon. I'm going to do 2 more here. We've got David Bonnell. Take control of your health, your life, and achieve your goals. Boom! That's how you do it. Navigation bar, home, weight loss, performance enhancement, life coaching, free consult, contact, blog. 92% there. I don't know if your audience is truly engaging with the term performance enhancement. I'm going to click it because I'm curious. And that brings me over here. Okay, yeah, you're using Wistia for the video. Is this built on? No, this is not built on. I can sometimes look at a website and figure out what it was built on. If there's giant spacing and empty white space, most often it's Kajabi. If the interactive elements look like it was looks like it was HTML from the early 2000s, it's go high level. um, if it's meticulously designed and I see some depth to it, it's either ClickFunnels, which is what I predominantly use, or it's WordPress. ClickFunnels is a whole lot easier. I'm killing all the WordPress in my business here. Um, yeah, so I'm not certain. You would know better than I would, David, if your audience is already looking for the term performance enhancement. Like, I would say step off to the side. You're right now middle of funnel there. I would go a little bit more top of funnel, and it might be one or two categories, in which case throw them both at the top. Don't kill this performance enhancement page. Have it like in a drop down, more services. But like, are you an athlete? Wrong button. I've got multiple screen shares. Oh, this one's better. Oh, let's use this one instead. Hey, look at that. See, I was ready for today. Yeah, we'll use this one instead here. Yeah, with this, actually, no, that doesn't show the navigation bar. Back over here. Are you an athlete, business person, musician, or other who wants to be in the top? Yeah, so like I would rebuild or I would add on additional pages speaking to these specific categories because the narrative of the athlete is very different than the narrative of the business person. I mean, you can introduce the correlation, yet, well, here, the site that was virginiahypnosis.com is no longer mine. I've been in Florida now for almost 5 years. There's an archive of what it was, though, at vahip.com. Meanwhile, if you went to the virginiahypnosis.com page, it's now this guy, Dan Crum. Look at that. He doesn't train. That's part of our arrangement here. I'm on that page. Cool. But back over here, I did have one at the top that says business confidence. And David, that was a hot keyword for me here. Let me look at the weight loss page. You are doing well with the video. I would say, though, pick a screen grab where you are making eye contact with the camera. Thing I showed before. Well, here, these have a screen grab of a video with text on the screen. So make yourself into a meme. It's the way that I tend to say this. So win the click by way of the video here. Claim the consult. We're off to Calendly. So here's an interesting thing here. When you're bringing someone to a calendar, you have your battle, as always, in terms of marketing, is eliminating variables. So it's different to sell people into, let's say, I'll give an example. I was doing a workshop at a recent conference, and to sell people into that workshop, 1, they had to be coming to the conference. 2, they had to travel there in person. 3, they likely needed flights. 4, they needed a hotel. And 5, they also needed that day free. So I counted just now 5 variables versus if I do a workshop similar to that online, and I also say, replays will be available. You see how there's less variables now. So I've already told the story of my magical 4:15 calls later today. It's where if I land on the site, I'm now thinking, wait, is that this time or is it that time? Or if I'm now onto the calendar booking thing, I would say, David, add in at least 2 things. 1, Calendly, kill the add guests. Just there's very rarely a scenario where you need that, so just remove that variable. Please share anything that will help prepare for our meeting. Make your questions invite people to sell themselves further into your services. What's the number one problem you're looking to resolve? What have you done so far to try to address this? What's going to be different in your life as a result of resolving this issue? Ask some more future-based questions that then invite them to mentally rehearse the outcome and then bond that over to you. I'm guessing this is a free account with Calendly because I see the banner. Either, again, the website building platforms that I tend to recommend have calendars embedded into it already, or give Calendly the $10 a month and add some more questions here. Let's go back. Oh, over here. So when someone goes to that calendar page, they have the variable of picking a time. Then from what I just shared, you've also got the variable of answering some questions. If you have an in-between engagement step, from the click of that button that says get started with a free 20-minute consult to learn more, I'll come back to that in a second, to then that opens some sort of popover to win an email opt-in. And then once they've opted in, now they get the calendar application. And with a little bit of behind the scenes artistry of automation, You can have a retention sequence. What I'm describing right now, this is what changed my business a whole bunch of years ago. This is how I focused more on keeping the leads I was getting and selling to those rather than bringing in more people who were not taking action. Fixing the leaky bucket in people's businesses. This has been the biggest profit driver I've seen in hypnotists around the world. So from the click, we win the opt-in. And then with a little bit of behind the scenes automation, I just give you my step-by-step workflow automation in this event starting soon. Wrong button, but I'm new here. There we go. So it can be configured so that they get some polite reminder emails if they don't book the call. If they do book the call, it stops the sequence. That was fabulous on camera here. Um, but yeah. So then, yeah, so looking over the site, engagement triggers, and again, the opt-in offers that actually optimize for psychological pre-selling. Biggest thing that I see. But David, great videos on the site. I'm just kind of looking around. I'm on your site here. I want to see a Meet David page. You might have it on here somewhere. And again, people are going to assume these are buttons. Go ahead and make the images buttons as well. About David. Look at that. There you are. Certified by woohoo. And yeah, win the opt-in first, then point them at the thing. Again, that one little retention secret. I had 3 years where the business stalled in terms of overall income. Solving this retention issue and creating more of the right optimization triggers, this is what broke me out of that plateau. This is the biggest profit driver I've seen people put into their business. And now it's time. Let's wrap it up with Dr. Handsome. Hey, Bill. Good to have you here. And San Diego Center for Hypnosis. Ooh, discover what's missing. I like that. Video pop over here. Oh, dude, check your links. Check your links. Vimeo. Yeah, Vimeo is just a butthead for sometimes the embedded things work, sometimes they don't. I shared that Voomly thing. That's the one that I recommend. So you've got a hamburger in the top right, which is what the navigation is called when it looks like this. In general, give us, navigation bar classic on desktop and then have it swap over to be the hamburger on mobile. Welcome to the San Diego Center for Hypnosis. We are here to help you reach your goals. Bill, you are there. Specific deliverable outcome, people do business with people. So if you make your buttons, if you make your calls to actions, whichever of those, if you make your call to action feel more like a specific deliverable outcome, you're in a much better position. So back to David's site for a quick moment. Get started with your free 20-minute strategy session so that we can build the roadmap to help you reach your goals. So that discover more so that you can let go of what's been holding you back. Give them more of an outcome here. Meet Dr. Bill, testimonials, facts. Okay, frequently asked questions. Experience you can trust. Contact us to learn more. What our patients say. He can say that he's a doctor. I want to see service pages if they exist here. Come on. Resources. Yeah, so the biggest thing I'm missing, Bill, is I want that video to work, but also two, it's that to call out what are their specific things that they want to address. And right now, I think you're awesome. And, not but, and right now you're very, very middle of funnel. My training in hypnosis has taken me across the US where I've had the opportunity to use direct, indirect, and rapid impromptu methods of inducing trance. With direct hypnosis, people are aware the hypnosis is happening to them. Are you ready to let go of that fear? Are you about to go into surgery and you can't release the anxiety? Do you need to lose that 30 pounds before you can have that important surgery? Are you ready to quit smoking? Put this more about their narrative. That's what's going to drive this a whole lot better here. And then I want to see engagement. So all 4 sites so far, I could have missed it. I didn't see a single opt-in offer because again, the ability to build your audience, build your following, and How many of you out there, the moment you saw something for the first time, did you buy it the first time? No, you might have been in this information collecting phase. The person I have my 4:15 call with today, um, I stalled on scheduling that. I kept going back to his site. I kept emailing with his team until I was like, I should probably schedule that thing. So they call this the marketing rule of seven. Most people need to see something like seven plus or minus two times. Doesn't that sound familiar? Before they go back. So your ability to win communication on the first step. So if this is something you all want some help to do, um, load this site, activatejason.com, then close it, load it again, then close it, then load it again, then close it. And then, like the fifth or sixth time, then watch all the videos, read all the information, and secure your spot. Give me 12 weeks. I'm going to walk you through the journey to take full control over the front end of your marketing of your hypnosis business. Before you can ever outsource it to someone else, I've learned this the hard way, you have to have control over that narrative. You have to have control over the flow of how they come into your world. Otherwise, someone else is going to position you as a commodity and it becomes a race to the bottom. It's surprisingly easy in our modern era to have the right systems dialed in so that one, people discover you. Two, people engage with your content online, which then three, brings them to the website. Four, the site then indoctrinates them into the journey, has the right interactive mechanisms. So really, it does the selling, it does the heavy lifting of the transactional stuff for you. All you then have to do is show up, get paid, do the work, and achieve awesome results. The more we're all successful, the one thing that's going to help our industry grow better than anything else is to have more of you out there successfully helping the public. If I can be a help of that, as I've been with hundreds of people around the world in recent years, check out this link, activatejason.com. We are starting the first week of September. If you're watching me after 2025, that link will also go somewhere that can help you out in terms of getting that message out there and truly making it rain within your hypnosis business. Thanks for watching. See you all soon.